Match correctly. A conditioned stimulus 1 ukab conditioned response 2 how yuhaiskan conditioned stimulus 3ss unconditioned response 4 ka.
Well reasoned. A 3B4C2 D1 is the correct choice.
Which teaching strategy involves students exploring physical activities and concepts through questioning, research, and discovery?
Smart move. Inquiry-based learning is an accurate answer.
Which teaching strategy is most effective for teaching students to work collaboratively and communicate effectively with others?
Nice work. You chose cooperative learning, and it is correct.
Which teaching strategy involves the teacher physically demonstrating a skill or activity for students to observe and imitate?
Valid point. Demonstration is true.
What kind of teaching strategy enables the learners to perform the assigned tasks with less supervision from the teacher?
Clear logic. Your choice problem solving is sound and 100% true. Which teaching strategy is most effective for teaching students to develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills?
Great thinking.
Problem-based learning is the right choice.
Which teaching strategy is most effective for teaching students to analyze the biomechanics of a particular movement?
A. Exactly. Inquiry-based learning makes sense, and it is right choice. Teachers who are lifelong learners and professionals needs to attend DASH to stay current in their teaching areas.
Good job. Your answer, professional development, works well here.
Which teaching strategy is most effective for introducing new physical education concepts and skills to students?
Great job. Direct instruction is the accurate answer. Which part of the teaching process can help the teacher determine if she has achieved the lesson's objectives? Well done. Assessment is the right choice. Which teaching strategy is most effective for promoting creativity and innovation in physical education?
Correct. Inquiry-based learning is the right answer.
Which teaching strategy is most effective for teaching students to design their own fitness programs?
Well picked. Problem-based learning is the correct answer.
The CS starts before the UX starts and the CS ends before the US starts. What is this called?
On track. Sign convention is the correct answer.
Which teaching strategy is most effective for teaching team building and sportsmanship skills?
Bravo. Game-based learning is the answer.
Which strategy provides learners the opportunity to feel the real situations in a given event?
Sharp thinking. Role-playing is the right choice.
Which teaching strategy involves using games to teach physical education concepts and skills?
Right again. Game-based learning is a valid answer.
What is the level called in which students are taught any subject matter by giving examples?
You're right. Comprehension level is the correct answer.
The process of teaching in a classroom mainly depends on which type of technical processes.
Good thinking. Software is the right answer. The most recent and effective strategy of teaching which modern teacher accepts is
Perfect. Experiential learning is the correct choice. Which of the following is not included in Thorndike's elementary laws of learning?
Strong choice. Law of associative transfer is the right answer.
On the basis of whose law did Skinner propound the law of operant conditioning?
Correct response. Based on Thorndike's law is the most accurate answer. Which of these strategies have the highest percentage of retention rate? Nice selection. Practice by doing is the correct and valid answer. Which commission was formed by UNESCO to fulfill educational objectives?
Solid response. Dellert Commission is a valid choice.
What do THERS mean? Reading, writing, arithmetic reply. Excellent choice. Fun23 is the right answer. Who established the memory level model in the teaching process? Right choice. Herbert is the best answer. Which of the following is a secondary type of teaching process? You chose cognitive, and it is correct. Whose principle is called the principle of conductor reduction?
Nicely done. Principle of solution is a solid answer.
The classical contracture is a salivary response to a bell.
Smart pick. Quia is the correct choice.
Below are some of the toddler learning strategies except. Excellent. Adult conversational teaching technique is a brilliant choice.
It is also called the rule of use and disuse in learning.
You got it? Your choice rule of practice is right.
The next term in this series is 2-728-63126-. Good thinking. 215 is the right answer. Which method is suited for teaching a folk dance in P? Exactly. Demonstration makes sense and it is right choice. How many main rules have been propounded by Thorndike? Correct. 3 is the right answer. Which of the following is not an atheistic school? You're right. Jain philosophy is the correct answer. Who propounded the principle of reinforcement? Well picked. Plouffe is the correct answer. How many types of reinforcement are there? Great job, 2 is the accurate answer. Who has given the principle of proximity? Excellent choice. Guthrie is the right answer. Who is the author of Atara Mimamsha? Smart pick. Badarayan is the correct choice. Method is dependent upon. Valid point. Theoretical assumptions is true. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Solid response. Contact Narayan Changda is a valid choice.